Hey guys, this is Jerry, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll talk about things I like and I don't really appreciate on the new VOLVO EX30. As the last video, I've done a POV drive and review on this product. Overall, really happy with it. Today, I just want to share a few things that may affect you or may not affect you in terms of your purchase decisions or your owner decisions, things like that. As always, none of these personal opinion, likes and dislikes videos are influenced by anyone. And again, I'm not using these videos to promote this product, or I'm not using these videos to bash this product. Let's get started. First thing I really love about the EX30 is its design language from the exterior to the interior. The interior is minimal, which is actually great to live with. The exterior is stylish. Every time I park this car in the car park, I've seen people trying to peek through the windows, trying to look through the doors and things like that. It is a beautiful design nevertheless. It kind of carries on the Volvo design over the years, but at the same time, it felt a little bit more modernized with the new headlights, new tail lights. I love the C-pillar. The wheels looks fun, but the front and rear are the most likable parts on this particular vehicle. Next thing I love is probably the interior, the simplicity, and also some recycled materials. No doubt, if you touch them, they don't really feel super premium or, let's say, top-notch in terms of beautiful leather finish, but they are many recycled material are done really well. You can feel the textures around the doors, and you can feel the textures around the center console. And I love these seats. The seats are comfy. There are so many to like about these seats in terms of comfiness, and this particular spec does have heated seats, which makes it really easy to live with. Speaking of the seats, there are a couple of things I really love about the seats. One thing is about the detail. Some of the wool material are actually sourced from New Zealand, South Island to be specific, and of course that's good for the New Zealand business. Second thing is this particular switch on the driver's side. I haven't really tested the passenger side. I think it's gonna be identical. So you've got a very small switch that goes forward, backwards, and you can do so many adjustments with only one small switch, and that's magical for me. If you touch the button inside, you can also do tilt adjustments for your base, for your thigh, and press it again for your lumbar support. And yeah, that's just insane amount of level of finish just on one single switch. I've never seen that on any of the cars, and of course, I'm gonna give a big applause for Volvo to have it done. You could argue it's not probably very intuitive compared to multi adjustments when you step inside the car, but once you get used to it, fairly easy to use. Of course, you get memory seats anyway, you get your profile setting anyway, so you can easily find your seats. Next thing I really love is the visibility on this vehicle. It is a small car, but the windows are huge. The front windscreen is huge. Your big tablet screen does not block any part of the view, and I love the bonnet is sort of sloping, so again, even the windscreen wiper does not get in the way. This console on the top is relatively high, so your sort of this angle of the lights and things are relatively easy to live with. On the side, that's my favorite part about this visibility. It's got a frameless wind mirror over there. From the start or from online research, I think, they may not be the best. It's good for the look and things like that, but when I live with this car for a few days, it's so good. It's kind of blends out with the surrounding areas. That means it's not distracting you in most places. There's no frame. That means it creates a good visibility around the side, A-pillar, and you can see all your blind spot. You can see everything approaching you from that when you go past a roundabout or giveaway and things like that. And that's really handy for anyone to use, really, and for anyone to live with. At the same time, the rear windscreen isn't the largest, but it's sort of medium size for the size of the vehicle. With its short wheelbase, it's actually very easy to live with that rear windscreen. So yeah, I personally enjoy the visibility of this car, and you should have no issue whatsoever. Another thing I really love about the Volvo EX30 is the space for the driver and passenger at the front. Because there's no sort of design, or there's no speakers, there's no electronics on the doors are fairly sort of spacious, and you can stretch your legs, stretch your knees. in the center. There's no big center console. It's got floating cup holders on the side, but again, it does not get in the way at all. So yeah, that's so easy to live with. I don't know, if you are probably 2 meters tall, you are still going to find this very, very spacious to get your position right. 178, I feel really comfortable on the seats and at the driver for the space and size. Next thing I love is about the Google Assistant. It's fast processing, and because it's connected to the internet, recognizing your English is fairly easy, or any other language, probably fairly easy as well. My English is not the best. I'm not first native speaker at all, but at the same time, it's very easy to live with. You can say, hey Google, guide me to Greenland. It's also localized, by the way. If you use any other voice recognition on the market from any other brand that's got an inbuilt voice recognition, it's not going to be super accurate along the way in terms of the design and things. So yeah, I really love that Google Assistant. It works really well. You can say, hey Google, go to settings. Look how fast it's processing all those languages, and yeah, that's brilliant. I really, really love that. And since we're on motorway, let's quickly tap on the adaptive cruise control. This is another thing I really love. Not just adaptive cruise control, also it comes with a pilot's assist, and that will help you with the steering a little bit on the motorway. Apart from that, it's also got many safety features, or the active safety features, automatic emergency braking and things like that. One thing I really love is this facial monitoring system. This is one of the best, if not the best, facial monitoring system on the market you can live with, really. Many of the facial monitoring system I've had experience this year is not great. It's gonna give you random beepings if you just simply look at your mirror for two seconds or whatever. This one works really well. I've tried. If you watch the screen for about 5 seconds or so, then it will give you a small notification, small beeps, so very satisfying. At the same time, if you are tired, if you actually give a yawn or anything like that, it will actually give you a small notification that says, are you tired? Do you want to take a break? It is really cool. Let's give it a go, I think. Just like that, look at that. I'm giving you a fake yawn, but of course that's quite huge, and it's giving me notification. It's super accurate. That's what I really loved about this thing. Not many cars facial detection monitoring system has worked to what Volvo has done in this level, and I really appreciate that. If you're gonna give any new features, if you're gonna give any new safety technologies, make it good like a Volvo. Next thing I really love is about the connectivity. Everything about the screen connects to the internet. That means you can have access to Google apps. You can actually download multiple apps if you wish. If you're waiting in airport to pick up someone, or if you wait in the fast charging stations, you can actually watch a YouTube, play music, things like that. That's really handy. Of course, if you're driving, you cannot use these apps. That's pretty much understandable. So yeah, that's really cool. You can do many things with these apps. There are a lot of things you can download. Of course, when we drive, I can't have access to it. But yeah, that's the cool thing about this Google Assistant. Next thing I love is about the indicator. Although this car does not have a front head-up display or front dashboard at all, so it's quite fairly hard to locate your indicator if you don't know if your indicator is on or off, left or right. Sometimes I get confused on the first day when I start driving the vehicle. But the cool thing is, we may not be able to capture this at all, unfortunately. But the cool thing is, if you indicate the left part of the speaker will sound. And if you do indicator on the right part of the speaker will make the sound. I think there are some cars on the market with the same design as well, but this one has done really well. Let's try the indicator on the left. It just purely coming to the left, and you don't need to look at the screen to be able to tell that's from the left. And yeah, that's really cool. The indicator also, it's very satisfying, along with all the other ping sounds, warnings, parking sensors, everything. They are all done very well. You can see the characters under it. It's just a stylish design for the indicator and all that things. And now, if you are safe, let's try the right indicator. It sounds from here, just like that. You do not have to take your eyes off the road or look at the screen. You can hear that sound. That's really cool. I love that. Next part, I'll talk about a few things I don't really appreciate on this vehicle. First thing is when someone calls in, when you have Bluetooth or Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, there's no way you can use any of these buttons to answer the phone call. You just have to tap the screen, press answer to be able to answer the phone call. Same thing, if you want hung up, you have to press the hung up on the screen. None of these buttons works on phone calls as far as I've tested. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying. If you're driving the car, the thing about Bluetooth or hands-free is you can just press anything to answer it. On this car, I couldn't find that particular function or button. If you know how it works, do let me know as well. Speaking of the buttons, there are a couple of things I really wish to be improved about these buttons. The first problem is they are a full panel, so that means you tap anywhere, they're gonna be clicked down. So there's empty space over here. I can tap here, it does absolutely nothing, but it still can be pressed down. That means if you do want to, let's say, go up or down on the volume when you drive the vehicle, you actually do sometimes have to keep your eyes on the top and bottom of the buttons to be able to make sure your fingers are actually touching it. Otherwise, if you tap just somewhere around here, you can see how close I'm with the OK button, but nothing's happening until I go to the OK button. Something's happening, just like that. Yeah, that's just a little bit annoying. Like, you have to get used to it. Again, you will get used to it as an owner, but I think from the design perspective, I really wish they could do a little bit differently on these buttons. That's the same with the cruise control buttons. To go plus or minus, you have to be very precise on this particular function. But again, there's no feedback. There's no sort of separate department for you to find these buttons in the, like, say, nighttime driving, or if you focus on the road, it's quite impossible to find some of this. Along with that, I really wish there are 2 more buttons on the side that allows you to change the adaptive cruise control distance. Because at the moment, to change the distance, you have to go into the setting, go in there, go in driving, and then you can change the distance between you and the front vehicle. So yeah, well, there's empty space over there. Please design something on here and here. I'd love to have that. Another thing I don't like about the EX30 is the rear seating space and probably rear seating position. So the space is okay. You do expect to have very little legroom, very little foot space, because it's a small car. It's only got 650 millimeters of wheelbase. So yeah, you can't expect that. But the seat base isn't great. I think the first thing, the seat base back is quite low and the seat base front is quite high up. That means your legs are quite high up. When you sit inside the vehicle, bum is actually really low for some reason. And it's just not comfortable for any adult that's over maybe 5'5" or something high, something taller. At least for me, I'm 178 or 5'10". It's really awkward sitting at the back. Another thing I wish Volvo could improve on the EX30, I'm pretty sure that will be improved over the OTA update that's available on the screen, is probably the door handle sensor, or how the door handle and keyless entry works. So at the moment, it's set on basically if you leave the vehicle, it's locked. If you approach the vehicle, it's unlocked. But sometimes in the morning, it's a little bit awkward. So my keys are not that far from the car. It's about 5 meters just on my driveway, and I could grab the key and approach the doors. And of course, nothing happens because the key is relatively short distance with this particular vehicle. And when I approach the doors, I have to put my hand on the door handle for about a couple seconds until it reacts, then opens. So the response time on that isn't great. Due to the design of this car key, there's no buttons to be able to do that action early either. So yeah, that's the awkward part on that. Another thing I should probably say I dislike is going to be the sunglass. The glass is huge, bright, and it's going to be really good for the visibility or for, you know, visual look for the rear passengers. But at the same time, it's going to get really, really hot in summer. Not today's weather, but another day, will be really hot. So I'd recommend you, if you're actually looking to buy one of these, probably get a cover or something like that. I'm pretty sure either Volvo or aftermarket companies will do those things, just in case it's too hot. It's of course got heavy UV protections and tinted glass, things like that, but still it's not the best. Another thing I forgot to mention, my favorite part about this car is actually how the car drives. Handles brilliantly on open road, on highway, very comfy, and on country road, very solid, very precise on the handling. I don't know how Volvo did it. It just feels like it's a really good all-round car in terms of driving. Acceleration is fast, even for the base model rear-wheel drive at 6.6 seconds or something to 100. That's going to be faster than most people's use. There's nothing to fault on the driving part. The noise level is okay, not the best, but the handles, the chassis, the drivetrain, and the suspension works effortlessly around any surfaces that you're going to see in New Zealand. That's the good part about this car. There's nothing weird on the driving part, and yeah, I really enjoy the driving. Super relaxing on city traffic like this, but at the same time, if you go anywhere country road, it's very exciting to drive. It's very fun to drive. Another thing I wish that can be improved on the Volvo side is about this one-pedal drive. Although it's named as one-pedal drive, but it's not even close to a traditional one-pedal driving at all. I think Volvo's approach to this one-pedal drive is not wrong. As in someone who drives petrol and diesel cars regularly, you probably get used to this one-pedal drive very easily. They're not aggressive, they're not too sort of bouncy, but at the same time, if you have driven anything like a Tesla or MG4 or Kia vehicles with one-pedal drive before, this one-pedal drive is nowhere near of any of those one-pedal drive. When you are driving on motorway, when you release the accelerator, they'll slow down, but still not too heavy. And when you are especially around sort of crawling traffic, it's not efficient enough to be able to just simply use the driving pedal. So it's not a traditional one-pedal drive in some way. I wish the Volvo could probably name this a little bit differently, or add another regenerated braking. Let's say name this as high-level regeneration, name another one as one pedal. So it's useful for someone who really love the pure one pedal, or for someone who doesn't love the one pedal of the bounciness, instead giving this one's name as high level of regeneration. I would say that would be really cool, but at the same time, I got used to this one pedal drive, how it works. When I drove the car, I think it's really good, like smooth, it's not bouncy, it's not like jerky compared to other vehicles. And the next thing I wish it can be improved is showing something related to the regenerative braking. So right now, what the vehicle does for you is there's no way you can check whether the vehicle is doing regenerative braking or not when you slow down or when you use adaptive cruise control. On some of the vehicles, they'll show percentage power or even show you a rev gauge to show you are at 0% or you're charging, you're accelerating. On this car, there's nowhere to find that. So personally, I don't even know if this car does regenerative braking on adaptive cruise control or not. So that's something I wish can be done or can be informed to the owners. Maybe add another small graphic on the left and things like that. But again, it's not there on this vehicle. And that's the end of this video. I hope you found this video helpful. Just a drive and talk video as always. I really enjoy this car. The drive is superb. There's nothing to fault. The design is minimal. It does take some time to get used to many of the functions, but once you get used to it, really easy to live with. I definitely enjoyed driving this car for the last few days. So that's it. Thanks for watching. That's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you do not forget to subscribe, like. That's the best way to support the channel. As always, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.